All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to today's session on the NGIGO virtual lecture series. We started the last time with entry of data into statistical package for social sciences, the IBM. So what we're going to do is that today we're going to try and do some small maneuvers with that same package. In actual fact, we're not going to do anything different. We're going to try and repeat one of the things we did with the like it skills when we were actually working with Excel. The actual essence of this work is for you to appreciate that the same things that you do with the Excel sheets, you can do virtually the same thing when you come to what using the SPSS. Hello. Right. So unlike Romeo's computer that needs support before it can, because it's suffering from spinal. I hope the lecture goes well. Right. So we're going back to hello. We're going back to the methods that we use. You remember the questionnaire that we were using was this. It was the student experience survey questionnaire that was distributed, and then the results was entered in here, was captured in here. Okay, so we have the results as this, and we can use any of the forms of any of the forms that we used in sending data into SPSS at a previous lecture to get the data into SPSS. Now, again, because of the fact that we don't want to pick up so many so that we have problems with looking and understanding what we're doing, what we're going to do is that we're just going to pick up a few of the questionnaire and then use at least the mean method, and then use the cumulative percentage method also, and then we will just use the two methods to try and use SPSS to see how easy it could be if you know your way around that. So I hope you all have the data as it is, right? So let's look at the questions that we're going to pick and the domains we want to pick. So let's say that from this one, we know that the first one was about, it is a standalone question about visibility of what? Of UHAS. The second one question is also on freshman's experience, okay, the orientation week and blah, blah, blah. The third one also was sufficient opportunity to enroll into what? Into courses. That one was also what? Freshman's experience, right? Hello? Yeah. And then the third one was what? Procedure for enrolling into courses. Again, that one was also freshman's experience. Okay, then we come to classroom, student computing facility, library staff, and all that. So what we're going to do is that we're going to pick one of the domains. I think at this stage it is fair to pick the first 4 questions. Okay, that makes up one domain. That's more of a freshman's what? Experience. So pick up that first 4 questions, and then we try and assess what happened with that. But what we're going to do is that we're going to use SPSS in actually accomplishing that instead of using Excel. Hello? Right. So what we're going to do is that we're going to make the easier way possible. We want to put the easier way possible. So what we're going to do is that we want to create a new sheet. Okay, so on this sheet, we're going to call it, today we're not going to use anybody's trash.
Yeah.
Okay. We just use, okay, we just rename that. We rename that, and then we say IBM. Hello. Right. So that is IBM. So we go back to the sheet 1. Don't forget we will need the code. Okay, the code or the numbers, they are the same actually. Then we are picking question 1 to what? To 4. Hello. Yeah. So pick question 1 to 4, copy that and put it on this place. We could choose to send all of them there anyway, but we just want to do things in bits so that it nothing become what? Cumbersome. So we have this one, question 1 to 4. That is what we're going to work with at this moment. All right. So we said that it is easier to code the response into what? Numeric before you send them to the SPSS. That gives you a lot of ways that you can really work with it than send them into what? Strangers. Because if you send them to strangers, you cannot recode them back into what? Into codes. So what we're going to do is that we're going to do find and replace, and then replace all the strangers into what? Into codes. So we'll start with the first part, that is the courses. So we'll pick the courses. We come to the binary clause that is here. We click on that, and then we come to what? Replace. So we'll start with the first course, that is midwife. So we keep the number in your head. You should have written it down like I told you before. So that will replace it with what? With 1. Replace it with what? 1. Wherever we see nursing. Hello? Is somebody keeping notes? Then wherever we see nursing, we will replace it with what? 2. Yeah. We replace it with 2. Sorry, might not cap lock us. No. So replace all. Then we'll move on to the next one. We see what? PA. So wherever we see PA, we'll just replace that with 3. Replace that with 3. Okay. Then wherever we see PH, wherever we see PH, we'll just replace it with what? With 4. And as I keeping notes, yeah, PH will become 4. And then we'll move on to the next one. Hello. Yeah, so the next one becomes what? Dietetics. That's DT. Wherever we see dietetics, we put what? 5. Hello. Then we'll move on to the last one. That is MedLab. We replace it with what? With 6. That we replace with what? 6. Yeah. Okay. So in that case, we have finished replacing for all that. Then we come to the other variables. Since they are all the same, we can pick all of them together. Okay, so we start with SD. Okay, right. So we do SD first. So for SD, we replace it with what? 1. That is strongly disagree. Then for D, disagree, we replace it with 2. Hello. And then for TS, we replace it with what? 3. And then instead of A, we'll do what? SA. SA will replace it with what? 5. And then A, which is agree, we replace it with what? 4. Yeah. We did the double figures first before the single ones so that we don't replace the SAs become S4 before we replace that. Right. So when you do this, the first thing you need to do, that if you want your SPSS to recognize it automatically, you need to save, because you have created a new listing. If you don't save whatever you have done, when you pick the file, you won't find it as it is. Hello? Right. So we're now going for our SPSS. Okay, our IBM. Right. So wherever yours is, you just go and then just open it. Okay. So open the SPSS. Don't forget that we used this paper the last time round. The paper published by, you said we should call what? Rubash, right? Yeah. If he's lying, I'm lying. You're the only person in red cap here. So alright, so you can just cancel this. This is what you are interested in. So when you come to this side, because I double clicked it, I'm having plenty of that. So I just want to exit one of them. I'm left with this one. So we just go to file. I hope you've not forgotten. Open. Then we go to what? Data. Okay, then when we come to data, what we're going to do is that we're going to what? Change the file type. So we change the file type because we want to pick an Excel sheet. So we pick an Excel sheet, and then what do? We go to where the file is located. So you can get a drop down menu from here. Okay, so our file is located on the desktop, and that is in the Popular Research Console, and the file is in what? Total data. So when you select a particular file, you just click on what? Open. So if you do that, there's a dialog box that is open for you, because there are a lot of sheets on that particular file, on that particular total sheet, Excel sheet. There are a lot of files on them. So which one do we want? We want what? IBM. So we pick IBM, and then you just click on what? OK. So when you click on OK, we can see that we have our data in our SPSS. Hello? Yeah. So our data is in SPSS, and that is the data view. So we go to the variable view and do the things we want to do there. So when we come to the variable view, the first thing we want to do is to assign what? The values. So we'll start with the value for the courses. So when we see 1, it means what? Midwife. Hello? Yeah. 2 represented nurses. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so 2 represented what? Nursing. The first one is midwifery, not nurses. So this one is nursing. Alright, so if I want to change it, I'll just click on the midwifery like this, change it, okay, and then come to what? Change, and then I make the correction. Okay, good. So after that, you click on any empty sheet, then you go to the next one. Okay, so 3 was what? PA, that is physician assistant. Add that. Then 4 was PH, that was public health. Good. Then 5 was DT, that is diets, dietetics. And then 6 was what? Medlab. Okay, good. So once we've done this, it means that we've coded them. If we come back to the data view, you can see they are now in their respective listing. You can change the face from the labels, values, or labels by clicking on this one. So if you click on each of them, you change the labels. Right. Okay, we come back and do it for the others. So for the others, we said 1 was equal to what? Strongly disagree. So we can just do SD. And then 2 was for what? Disagree. So we can put D there to hasten what we are doing. And then 3 was what? Through sometimes. So we put TS there. And then 4 Was agree. So we'll put an A there just to hasten what we're doing. Then 5 become what? Strongly agree. Okay. So we just enter, and we said that once it is the same thing that is going for all the others, you can just highlight all of them and then just paste it, and they all pick it. So if you have the same thing there, you don't need to worry yourself too much. Hello? Right. So now we now have the data in our what? SPSS. So let's go. When you finish doing anything in SPSS, you want to save. Okay? So you click on save, and then it comes like this. Where do you want to save it? You give it a file name. Okay? So let's call this Lekit. Okay, Lekit1. And then you click on what? Save. Because that's the where we pick the file, so we can just save it. That's where we have been saving all our things. Good. So now we have the data like this. Now let's go back to refresh our memory with how we can analyze such Lekit data. According to Arabush, as we found here, for this paper, there are different ways that you can treat those data. That the first one is what? Using the mean. Okay? And if you're using the mean, that is anything, say 3.6 and above is considered to be what? High quality or excellent. And then anything below 2.6 becomes what? Poor. Then in between becomes okay. Then we could use the median. So with the median, we're putting them into what do you call it? 4, 5 as high quality, 3 is acceptable, and then 1, 2 is what? Improvement needed. That is the poor performance. And then we can do the quartiles, which is the same as the median. And then we have what? The cumulative percentage. So the last time we worked with the mean and then what? The cumulative percentage. Hello, are you there? Good. Right. So this is what the mean actually meant. So with the mean for each of the scores that we picked up, what we do is that we actually sum up the scores and divide by with the total number of people. Hello? Right. So for the mean, if you are interested in this particular inputs, like we are interested in this particular inputs and want to find out the performance of this, it's all the scores that we'll make here, and then what do you call it? Over the total number of people that did that particular what do you call it? Yeah, that particular inputs, right? Good. And then when we come to the median, that means you would have sectioned them into what? Into 3, where 3 becomes the middle, 4 and 5 are in one group, and then 1 and 2 are in the what? In the other group. Okay. Then if we move on to the cumulative percentage of 4 and 5, our interest become only those who choose what? Agree, and then what? Disagree. All the others we are not considering. So the proportion of people that choose agree and then what? Disagree. So the number of people who choose agree and disagree over the total number of people who responded for that particular what do you call it? Particular question. Right. But if you want to find it for the domain, that is where we need to do what? Cumulatively. The same method that we are talking about. Right. So we'll try and see how we can do same in SPSS. Good. So if you are in SPSS as we are now, and our interest is in what? Our interest is in the total score that the people got for this particular domain. Then what it's going to do is that we're going to sum this one, this, and this. Do you agree? Hello? Yeah. We're going to sum the response for question 1, the response for question 2, the response for question 3, the response for question 4. And if you want to get the average, that is going to be what? That particular distance divided by the total, yes, the total number of questions. In this case, that is what? That is 4 questions times. Then once you do that, that gives you what? The mean. Hello? Hello? Are you guys there? Good. So let's see what happened with this one. Right. So how do we do that? When we're in Excel, we could just do the additions, right? We could just come here and say equal to and say what? Sum. And then we drag. Do you remember? Good. We could do same here too. Right. You go to compute variable. Okay. So we compute variable. Good. This was this thing I was looking for. So now the target variable, that is the new one that you are looking for. Okay. You give it a name. So what name do you think we should give it? We give it what? A mean. Okay. So now here, what do we think should be the mean? The mean will be, first let's bring parentheses so that it becomes easier for us. So we bring a parenthesis. I click it double, so that's why I'm having that. So we bring a parenthesis. Then we say the mean is equal to, so whenever you click on here, you see the arrow here changes. This one plus, you can either type it or just use the keys there, plus this, hello, plus this, plus this. That is the sum, isn't it? Good. And what are we doing? Divided by, and divide is what? This one, slash what? 4. Are you getting it? Right. So when you do this one, I might say that the arithmetic symbols are here. You can go and take some of them also and use them. If you click on them, you can take them and use them, the ones that are applicable. But for this one, we just need this one. So you can compute any equation, any formula, or anything here. Hello? Right. So all that we need to do is to just click on what? Okay. So the new variable mean, as you can see it here, okay, is what? The first question, the score the person put on the first question, the score the person pick on the second question, the score the person pick on the third question, the score the person pick on the fourth question, all summed together, divided by what? 4. Hello? Right. So if we do that, that means that this is what we get. Hello? Right. So let's just do a simple calculation and see if this one's all right. We have 4, that is 8, right? This one to this is what? 10. If you are dividing 10 by 4, you have 2.5. Hello? Yeah. So if you are using the computer, it's just like a calculator. Are you okay?
Yes.
Right. If we're in Excel, we would have called Rex Law to come and use the if function to come and classify them by virtue of what do we call Al-Rubash, and then he would have shown us which one are supposed to be what? Excellent, which one are supposed to be good, and which one are supposed to be what? Poor. So we can use that same classification in Al-Rubash. We can use that. We have those functions also. So now we have the mean. Okay. So now I want to categorize the individual into their performance, right? So if we look at it from here, it means that by virtue of this thing that we are using, that is less than what? 2.6. Okay. So it means that the first person was what? Poor. The second person is above what? 3.6. So that one is excellent. This is poor. This one will be what? Good, because it's about 2.6, but it's less than 3.6. So that is how the classification is going to be, isn't it? Good. But we cannot be going one after the other and be doing that. So we can do that also using SPSS. So we go back to again the same transform as it is here. We just go to transform, and this time round we are going to recode. So we are going to recode the mean into their individual what category using Arrowbash's classification of 3.6 and above, 2.6, below 2.6. So you come here and there are two of these statements here. You have recode into same variable, recode into different variable. Now if you recode into the same variable, now the new coding that you are going to do is going to replace the column where the mean is. That is, whatever, this will be transformed, but you won't have this there anymore. In most cases, that's not what you want to do, because you want to cross-check what you have done so that you will know whether what you have done is right or wrong. So what happens is that you want to recode rather into what? A different variable. So you just come to recode into a different variable. Hello? And then when you come to this, you choose the particular variable you want to what? Recode. In this case, our interest is on the what? On the mean. So you click on the mean and you send it in here. So if you send the mean here and recode the mean, what other name or label you want to give to it? Hello? Right. So maybe we want to give it mean performance. So let's make it mean what? P. And if you want to put a label on it, don't forget the name. You cannot put what? Spaces and things in trading. But the label, you can write anything you want there. Okay, so let's say categorization of the what? Of individuals, if you want to write it as the label. Hello? So we can write categorization of what? Individuals or something, just for time's sake. Let's just do it. Now, you see there's a question mark here. You want to recode, you want to change something into something. Now, the question is asking is that you are changing the mean into what? So when you do the new name, you click on the output values. You click on what? Change. So now I want to change the mean into what? The mean what? P, or the mean performance. Hello? Hello? Are you guys there? Good. Now, these operations can now be used to do the categorizations. If you go here, you can actually use this function to do the categorization. You could also go and use the if function, just like when we were in Excel, when we were using the if function to do the categorization. Hello? Right. So we'll try the two and see. Okay? Right. Because we are learning, we'll try the two and see which one we can do. So now here, if you come to this side, you see there's a range. Okay? If you click on this one, like this, you see there's what? There's a range. If you click on this one, you get what? Value. Okay, so these are the range and the values of the old value. In actual fact, that is what? The mean. And then you give the new value you want to give it to it as what? Here. Hello? Yeah, so our first classification, according to this one, should be greater than or equal to what? 3.6. Greater than or equal to what? 3.6. I don't know if I tried that here and it will work. I've not tried it before. So I will just try it and see. Yeah, it will not going to work. Let's say, yeah, this one will not pick that. So that should be done at the other side. So greater than or equal to 3.6 means that we should use a range for it, isn't it? So in this case, the lower range will be what? 3.6 to what? To 5, isn't it? 5 is the maximum.
Yes.
Good. 5 is the maximum. So we want to put a figure, a code for that one. And that is our excellent, right? So, but we want to put a numerical code for that one. So let's call that what? 1. Do you agree? Hello?
Yeah. So
1 is representing our what? Excellent. Are you okay? Good. Then we add it. So it means that 3.6 through to 5 is what? 1. Our next range will be what? 2.6, but through to what? 3.5. Do you agree?
yes.
Hello? The class is down. So let's call that is our good or acceptable, right? So we're taking that as 2. Hello? Right. Then the next one is going to be what? 0. No, can we get 0? No, 1, isn't it? 1 will be the minimum, isn't it? So 1 through to what? 2.5. And that is going to be what? 3. So if we add it to this like this, we just go to what? Continue. And then click on what? Okay. And if we did everything right, we should get a response that we need. Normally, everything you do, it gives you this kind of response. So if I'm doing something that does not need results, I normally close it. So I don't want to save too. So now what do we see? We have a code in here. That is what? Mean P. So now, from this thing that we did, 1 is what? Excellent. 2 is good. 3 is what? Need improvement. Or 3 is poor. So this one, 2.5, it falls below what? 2.6. So it is what? 3. Hello? Now, 4.2. Okay? 4.2 is what? Is bigger than what? 3.6. So it is what? Excellent. 1. This one is 3. This one is what? 2. This one is what? Hello? 3, yeah, because it's below 2.6. So you can see the categorizations are all been there. So all that you need to do is to just now go to what? The variable view, go to the P there and assign the what? The values. So in this particular case, whatever interpretation you want to give your 1, you can call it what? Excellent. 2, you can call it what? Good. 3, you can call it what? Poor or need improvement. You come back to your data view, you can change the label, and that is it. Is things simple here or more complicated?
Very complicated.
You remember your if functions. Okay. Right. So since you continue doing it, you will get it. Alright. I said we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to use the range and we're going to use the if function also. Okay? Now, it's not everything that sometimes the ranges can be easy for you to pick like that. Okay? So sometimes you might not want to use the range, but you want to use what do we call the if function. Because sometimes it's have to be very complicated. Sometimes you have to do more than one. Okay? So maybe if question 1 is this and question 2 is that and question 3 is that, then put 1 there. We will come back and do that very soon too. Okay, right. So let's use the same thing. We are doing the same thing. Now in SPSS, this particular sign that you see here is a recall sign. Any test that you do, as far as you don't close the the program, if you come, it recalls that test for you. So you see today, these are the tests that we have done. We have done, that is, these ones are even very older tests. Okay, but today we have done what? Compute and then what? Recoding. So sometimes it makes things easier instead of going through the thing again like that. You can just come here and then just what? Recall. Are you getting it? Right. So this time round, we are going to change P. Okay, I've clicked on it again. If I use the same thing, it's going to replace it at the same place. We won't see the essence of what we are doing. So we have clicked on it again. But this time around, we are doing what? PP. And then we click on what? Change. So now we are changing the mean to what? PP. Are you okay?
Yes.
Yeah, just to have a chance to use the if function. So first you need to go to where you are here and clear the things that you have put there. Okay. Unfortunately here the function key don't work, so you have to remove them one after the other. Here you have to remove them one after the other. Okay. And then you come back. Just come back. Now let's say if we are using the if function to do the same thing that we've done. Now we go to if and then we come to what? Include. And in this case we say include this one, right? Now that is if the mean score is greater than or equal to 3.6. What figure do you want it to give to? You go to what? Here. Okay. And you see now this one is logged in. So you go there and assign the particular distance for it. I don't know why this one is not removing. I should have reset when I came. Sorry. When I actually came, let me go back so that it makes it easier. I should have just reset. Then everything is gone back to normal. Yeah, so I just click on reset and everything goes. So now I'm going back to my if function. But that also has given me more work. Anyway, let's go. The mean becomes what? Mean, yeah, PP. Then you click on what? Change. So always make sure that there is not a question here asking you mean to what, but it's changed to whatever you want to change it to. So now we go to what? If. Then when we come, we select include case, whatever I want to include. So we come to if the mean is greater or less or equal to 3.6. So you continue, you realize the 3.6 is logged in. What new number do you want to assign to it? So when you come here, since you are not putting any number here, you will let it affect all other values. Okay, so whatever is logged in here at the if there, we want to call that thing what? 1. Click on what? Okay. Are you getting it? Then come and click on continue and then click on OK. Now when you do that, you realize that the ones have been replaced. Are you seeing where the ones are? They are the same as the other one did. So you just quickly go back to recall the same thing. This time around you change this. Okay. So what will the next one going to be? It's going to be less than 3.6 but greater than or equal to 2.6. Are you okay? A little bit of mathematics. Alright, so we can easily put this one here like this and put a parenthesis behind it. Hello? Yes. So what we'll do is that we'll take this one out, the greater than out. Okay, and then put what? Less than in there. Are you okay? Good. And we want, after that, we want it to be end. Okay, then bring another parenthesis and bring what? This one. And it should be what? Greater than or equal to what? 2.6. Are you getting it? I hope there is no mass phobia in the class. This is just simple logics we are using. Hello. The way you are responding. Okay, in order for you to really understand what we've done there is just this.
Then arrow dash. Arrow
Okay, arrow bash, that's what we are using. We're using the arrow bash thing. We say that it should be, the first category is what? This or above. The second category will surely be less than this one, right? But it should not go beyond what? This. That is from this but less than what? This. Are you getting it? So greater than or equal to this one but less than what? This. That is what we have put there. Don't worry, you enjoy math. Math is the easiest subject in the, because ask for that one. When it is correct, it is correct. Yeah, you don't get any subjective maths. Alright, so we just continue with that. Hello. We go to what? Old and new. Yeah, these ones are logged in already. We can easily change this one and put what there? 2. And click on what? Change. Continue and click on OK. So you realize it has done it for all the 2s. Are you getting it? Then the next one is just go back, just recode. That is going to be easy. That one, nobody's going to have any phobia. Let me clear it all. And then that should be what? The mean should be what? Less than 2.6. 2.6. You just click on OK. You come to this side, you change this and put what there? 3. Just put 3 there. You change it. You just go here and okay, you are filled all. So you see there are 2 different ways you can use them. You can use the if function key or you can use the ranges to just change it. They all give you the same thing once the arguments are valid. The only thing is that sometimes the range thing will not work for you depending on the complexity of the coding you are doing. So you can use the if function to code a lot of things. Okay, that's what we're going to do right now. So it means that if we are doing the mean, you go and compute the mean and then we categorize the mean. That is exactly what we have done. Just like we did in Excel, compute the mean and then sort it out either by filter or by the what? The if function. With the same thing we have done here. We computed the mean and then we sorted the mean out either by filtering or by the if function. Hello. It's a long time we watched like it's 1.1, so we've forgotten. Because you have been part of the class, you think it's only the virtual audience that have to watch the videos. Right. Okay, so we're going to do the cumulative percentage. So the cumulative percentage, we know it says that our interest is only in the what? In the 4 and then what? 5. So in order to recode those ones, what we do is that anywhere we see, you remember when we were in Excel, anywhere we see 4 and 5, we put what? 1. And then anywhere we see any of the other figures, we replace it with what? 0. That was what we did. Then after that, we summed it up and then just did a percentage. You remember?
Yes.
We just summed it up and just did a cumulative percentage. Hello? Right. So that's the same thing we are going to do here. So first and foremost, we're going to do recoding of each of these ones into what? Into the ones and then what? Zeros. Just like we did a find and replace in Excel. So we go to transform. We could have just redo it the other way. So let's not replace it into the same variable. We are replacing it into new variable. Hello? Right. So we come to this side. The same thing that we have done now. Now, but the good news is that since we are doing it for this up to here, they are all going into one thing. Are you getting it? So we come to this one and we are going to say, let this one be, let's say Q1A, right? Change it. Go to the next one. We want it to be what? Q2A. 2A. Change it. We go to the next one. We want to do what? Q3A. Change it. We go to the next one. We want to do what? Q4A. You can give it any name you want anyway. Hello? Yeah. Don't forget this one is there. So you need to take it out. That's why anytime you come, you should have resets so that you could do it easily. You clear everything there. So you can reset or you can go and then take it out. Okay? So if you go here, you can go and do include all what? Cases. Are you getting it? Alright. So we come to this side. Or we can just reset. So we go now to what? Yeah, also we are changing this to this, this to this, and since they are all here, they will all go automatically. It's not the best way of teaching. I should have done it one first before the two, but I know you are sharks. You understand?
Yeah.
So I go to the old and new. So when I come here, this time around, I'm just removing this one. So now I'm clicking on the value what's old. So what we are saying is that anytime we see 1, we should replace it with what? 0. We add it to it. Anytime we see what? 2, we should replace it with what? 0. We add it to it because we are doing cumulative 4 and 5. Our interest is only on the 4 and the what? 5. So we move on to the next one, that is 3. Even though it's true sometimes, we are still replacing it with 0. We add it to it. So now anywhere we see 4, it should replace it with what? 1. Anywhere we see 5, we should replace it with what? 1. So these are the new values. It's just like doing finary. We just click on continue. And we click on what? Okay. And we have new variables that have all this in here. So let's move to that one. So you can see we have new variables that only contain what? 1s and then what? 0s. Hello? Hello? So we are using find and replace, just like we're doing in what? Excel. Here we are calling it what? Recoding. Hello? Yeah. So we go back and compute. So we go to transform and then we go to what? Compute. So we're going to use this same computing to compute our what? Our cumulative scores. So again, it's the sum of what? Q1A to what? Q4 what? A. Is that not the cumulative? Then divided by what? 4 times what? 100. That is the cumulative percentage of 4 and what? 5. Hello? Is it understood? Good. Okay. So again, let's issue this. Let's go to this side and then just add them. Sorry. So we go here, we push this one in there. Okay, we click on this, we push this one here, plus, you can choose to do it one after the other. You can choose to sum first, then now you come and work on the sum or whatever. It's all your own tastes. The way you do it to get the results. Once it is correct, it's correct. It doesn't matter how you do it. So this is the cumulative sum. So you should do the cumulative sum first before we come and do the percentage. Hello? You should do the cumulative sum first. Yeah, but don't forget our target distance have to change. So let's do C sum. So that's the cumulative sum. So we click on OK. And again, I'm just taking this one off. So that's the cumulative sum from each of them. So for this guy, he had 1, 1. That's why he's having what? 2. This guy had 1, 1, 1. That's why he hasn't what? 3. Hello? Just like we would have said sum in what? In Excel. Are you guys there? Good. So now we have to convert this one into what? Into the proportions, because that is what we are using, and then we'll now come and use these cutoffs to group them. Where 80 and above was what? Excellent. 60 down to 80, and then less than 60 was what? Let's choose some time. So we just now convert this into just proportion. So again, we just go back to our compute, go to transform, go to what? Compute. So we don't need this anymore because we've done that. We just bring the cumulative sum, okay, in here, and then slash what? 4, and then multiply by what? 100. That is star. The star is what? Multiplication. We just click on OK. You see? Yeah, the target variable, let's make it C percentage. So let's make it the cumulative percentage. Good. So let's just make it cumulative percentage. Yeah. So after we've done that, it has been calculated. It's 4. So means 2 is what? 50. Anytime you do any computation or something, try as much as possible to look at it and see whether you are getting the things right. Hello? Right. So now we have our cumulative what? Percentages. It's up to us to use whichever scale we want to what? To group it into performance. Hello? So again, all that we do is just what we have done before. We can easily just go to what? Recode, and recode the what? The cumulative percentage into what? Performance categories. Hello? Right. So let's just do that quickly. We go here because our time is almost gone. We go to recode into a different variable. And then what do we want? Let's reset it quickly so that it becomes easily for us, very easy for us. So the cumulative percentage now, we want to change it into what? Cumulative percentage what? Scores or categories or something. Or performance or something. Yeah, I think performance is what we use at the other side. So we just click on what? Change. You say what? CPP. Oh, sorry. Then I go to what? Old or new. I can use the old and new and use the range, or I can use the if function. Okay, the same way we did just here. So if we come here, it means that the first one is going to be what? 80 to what? 100. Yeah, 80 to 100. That is using this arrow bash what? Categorization. That is 80 and then what? Above. Hello? Yeah. So if we come there, we will score that one what? 1. Add it. Then the next one is going to be what? 60 all the way to that what? 80 what? 9. If you 79, if you add 80 to it, it's going to be problem. So 79. But you see, this is where sometimes the difficulty will come, because if you have some points, 79 point something, that means that will not be captured. That is why. But for the one we are doing, they are all giving us, because it's for just for the gate, they are all giving us whole numbers. And that is why sometimes this will not work perfectly. So you have to. Then the next one will be what? 0 to 59. Yeah. And that should be 3. So we just do that. You see? Okay, I've not added it, sorry. Good. So the artificial intelligence is telling me I've not done something. Okay, so once I do that, and I have my categorizations, and I come. So let's look at it and see. 50 is 3, is below 60, right? 75 is supposed to be 2, above 60 but below 80. Yeah, so we see 100 is what? 1. Yeah, I think our categorization have been done. So we go back to what? Variable view. Here we can then assign the what? The values. So we can even choose to go and copy it from here, since the same one means what? Excellent and the rest. We can just copy it here to save time. Just paste it here. When we come here, we have what? The performances that are here. So this is using the cumulative percentage and then what? The mean score. Now, we've said that with the mean score, most often than not, you are always going to get it wrong. The last time we did it, with SPSS, you can lift any of the cells and move it around. So you just click and hold it. You just move it around. So let's patch the two together and see whether we are getting the same outcome. We realize we are getting different outcomes. Hello? Yeah. So if you look at respondent number 2, the mean score is rating the person as what? Excellent. The cumulative percentage rating the person as what? Poor. Good, yeah. When you come to this side, this is where you see most of the problems as it falls. All of these have been rated as good, but they have been rated as what? As poor at this stage. Hello? Yeah. So you get different scores by virtue of how you interpret your response. And we have proven it that with the mean scores, somebody, by virtue of somebody getting what? Rating something, you can get it wrong. I don't want to repeat those things today. So now, since we are in SPSS, now the question is, we want to find out, I'm just closing the lecture, just 5 minutes. If we want to find out, okay, by virtue of the cumulative scores or by virtue of the mean scores, what was the actual performance? Which proportion of the respondents rated his freshman experience as good, excellent, or what? Poor? Because this is not the end of the lecture. We want to continue still to summarize the data and then be able to present something. So in terms of this particular domain that we have picked, that is freshman's what? Experience. If we want the percentage of people who rated it as this and that, we could just go and do what? Analyze. And then go to what? Descriptives. So when you go to descriptives, you can try to do what we call frequency. Okay? So with frequency, you just put in the thing that you want to essay. So let's use both, what do we call, the cumulative percentage and then the mean score. And then we'll see what will happen. So we just want the frequency of that thing. In this case, those that have what? Excellent, good, and poor. Just the classification in terms of percentages. So if we do that, this is what we're going to have. So this is what we have in the SPSS result. So if we use the cumulative percentage, this is what we are having. Okay? Now, we are having excellent made up of what? Only 3.2%. Those that rated it good, 18.4%. And those that rated it as what? As poor was what? 97.8%. So it means that as far as freshman's experience is concerned, among the respondents that we distributed at this thing, majority of them put it in red. Hello? Good. So that is it. I'll explain the other data you are seeing there for you. If we use the mean, that will say instead of 3% that we are seeing here, we are seeing what? 14.4%, rating it as excellent. And then 50, a whooping 59% of them are rating it as what? As good. And then only 24% of them are rating it as what? Poor. So you see the difference in outcome. The difference in outcome is very, very what? Huge. So if you use the mean score, you'll be saying that the people really enjoy their freshman's what? Experience. But if you use the cumulative percentage, there is a big problem. That is what I'm coming to. You get what I'm doing? Hello? Now, anytime SPSS computes percentages like this, it comes with two percentages. In this particular case, we realize that we are having this percentage and this percentage. Now, they are missing data. There are two of the missing people who are missing here from the summary listing. Now, what this is doing is that it is considering the missing data as part of the group. So this one is using the total number of people, that is 100 and what? 25, to score the percentages. The valid percentage is excluding the missing group. So the valid percentage is using what? 100 and what? 23 to calculate that percentage. So in most cases, this is where you want to dwell with. Among the people that responded to this particular what? Domains, this is the score. This one is among the total population that was what? That was essayed. So including those that responded and those that did not responded, that is the percentage. So in most cases, this is where you want to tell your story. Hello? So because it is logical to say among the people that what? That responded. Now, SPSS have other things we will talk about. How you exclude data. You can exclude list-wise or case-wise. Later we'll talk about it. Now, this one is just a cumulative. In actual fact, it doesn't have much of statistical meaning. This one is 3, this is this plus this. Okay, so this one is this plus this, and this one is just adding the percentages. It doesn't really have meaning. Now, the difficulty we have had with people, most of the people that use SPSS system, as you can see, if we're in Excel, it means that what we have to do now is you have to compute, sort the number of people who had what? Excellent. Put the number down. The number of people who had what? Good. Put the number down. The number of people who had what? Poor. So we have to do that filter. Then now come and do the calculation ourselves. I see this one is doing it and giving us the number and the proportions altogether. Good. Now the difficulty we have had is that people don't know what they have to take after the results output have come. Once the report output have come, you don't just copy this one straight away and go and put it in your thesis. Yeah, so this is the results. You now decide on how you want to present the results and which of the results you want to present it. So if your interest is to taking the frequency and the proportions, okay, in this case valid proportion or whatever, the frequency and the proportion is what you take and go and use it to build what? A table. So on a table, it might not be like every question that you ask, you present it with what? A table. Now, for most people that claim they do SPSS analysis, as they claim, you code it and you run it. For this particular thing, what we would have gotten is this. They would have just come here, for example, say frequency, and the order they will do is that they will put the individual inputs in there. They would have just picked the individual inputs in there. Okay? You know when you double click it, it goes. So you can double click it. Let me just take the percentages out. So when you double click this one too, they go back. They would have just done this for each of the questions and then copy these things into their thesis. So for this particular domain, we would have been getting 4 tables, which in actual fact will not be communicating what? Anything. So I've seen people with 322 tables in their thesis before. Yeah, you see them all over, isn't it? Some of them, they will do this, and after that, this same thing, they will go and draw a graph for it. Yeah, but that is double data presentation, and that is not allowed. Yeah. So you can present data in 3 forms. You can present data in 3 forms, either in text, tables, or figures. Alright, so we'll go on. This is just the beginning. Okay. Alright, so because of the time, we'll end the lecture here. I think we have proven that the same thing that we did in Excel, when we're doing like a skill analysis, we can do that with what? With SPSS. Hello? All right. So thanks for coming. God willing, we'll meet tomorrow. We continue with the lecture. We still want to say that we are grateful for Dr. Zito's donation of equipment. Kind gesture for, we are so grateful. We will continue to mention his name every day because there's not many people that see some people do good work and they support them.
Yeah.